What were dinosaurs? Dinosaurs were reptiles that evolved into the most varied kind of all living creatures. They ranged from tiny bird like animals to monstrous beasts that were the largest animals ever to live on land. The dinosaurs survived for about 150 million years. They were not all the meat eating killers familiar from films and books. Neither were most of them gigantic creatures. In fact, most dinosaurs were peaceful, browsing animals about the size of modern farm livestock. What do we know about how dinosaurs' bodies worked? Although dinosaur remains are few, we know or can deduce quite a lot from their fossilized skeletons. For example, we can calculate a dinosaur's weight by studying its bones. Heavy animals have massive bones to support their weight, while shift-moving hunters usually have very light, hollow bones. Muscles are firmly attached to bones, and although no trace of the muscles remains in fossils, the attachment points can be seen on the bones. These tell scientists how big the muscles must have been. We know that a bulky digestive system is necessary to digest vegetable matter. The herbivores would have had massive barrel shaped bodies, while carnivores would be slimmer. The shape of the teeth tells us what type of food the dinosaur ate. Why did dinosaurs become so successful? The main thing that distinguishes dinosaurs from other reptiles is the way they, their body is supported by their legs. The legs of ancient and existing reptiles stick out sideways, so the body drags on the ground, but most of the time it is raised briefly when the animal runs. This is very obvious with crocodiles, which can run very fast for short distance. The skeletons of dinosaurs, however, develop so so that the legs were beneath the body, raising the whole body of the ground. This allowed them to stand erect and to walk and run with long strides. These developed predators could run faster than more primitive reptiles, which soon became extinct. Were dinosaurs stupid? Were dinosaurs stupid? How do you measure the intelligence of an extinct animal? What we can say is that the intelligence of dinosaurs must have been sufficient for their way of life. Otherwise, they would not have survived for millions of years. Some plant eating dinosaurs certainly have very small brains in proportion, proportion to their size. However, a large brain is not important in an animal that is too enormous to be attacked and has little to think about apart from grazing. On the other hand, some of the predatory dinosaurs had quite large brains, presumably, presumably because they need to think quickly as they pursued their prey in comparison to their size. The brains of the smallest dinosaur predators were the biggest because they needed to the agile and fast moving. How do we know how dinosaurs moved? We can reconstruct the shape and habits of dinosaurs from their remains. Dinosaurs also left behind other evidence in the form of their footprints. These were imprints in mud that were later covered by flood waters and become fossilized. Some of the dinosaur footprints give us a good idea about how these animals lived and moved. By measuring the distance between each footprint, we can measure the stride of the animal, and from this we can calculate how fast the dinosaur moved. Footprints also show that dinosaurs sometimes moved in herds or small family groups, and they show evidence of dinosaurs being hunted by predators. How many different types of dinosaur were there? There were thousands of different species of dinosaur, and we have discovered only a small proportion of these. It is important to realize how rare fossils are. A few dinosaur species must have been very common. For example, the iguanodon, which left many fossils. Others were probably scarce when they were alive or lived in regions where fossilization was unlikely, and so there are few remains of these dinosaurs. Herbivores often lived in groups or herds, but carnivores were usually more solitary, and their fossils are therefore more rare. Many of the most interesting dinosaurs are known from a single fossil, or sometimes from just one or two bones. Paleontologists 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 must deduce the shape and the size of the animal from these few remains.